Hello, hello, hello. I hope this video finds you in amazing spirits. I feel amazing today. I'm so happy and grateful to be here with you today. I want to share something with you today that gives me good days. I want to share that with you. Now, every morning, you know me. Every morning I wake with a couple of things on my mind. One of those things is humility. Another thing is clarity. And another thing is gratitude. Those three things makes my days amazing, and I'm so appreciative of it. Now, my humility, that allows me to know that I don't know. So I seek knowledge every day. I seek to know even things that I think I know already. I seek to know more about those things. And I learn from my kids. They're absolutely amazing. But I learn from everybody and everything. You guys, the social media contacts that I have, the statements that are made, they're absolutely amazing. But I want to share with you today what makes my days great. What makes my days absolutely amazing is gratitude. Gratitude is understanding what you have, being thankful for what you have and who you are, and for what your situation is. Now, does gratitude mean, oh, I'm going to be happy about every situation that I find myself in? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so, because everything is not great, but I can be grateful for whatever the situation is. I got a letter from the IRS a couple of weeks ago saying I owe them what I consider to be a lot of money. I don't know about everybody else, but what I consider to be a little bit of change, some change I could go shopping with. And those of you who know me know that shopping is my thing. I love shoes. I love everything. Now, I do these videos before or after I work out because that's when my mind is tingling. So I like to get in front of the camera and share with you guys what has been dropped on me. I want to share with you as well. But I love shopping. IRS talking to me, and what they talking to me about is going to keep me from shopping for a second, okay? Now, that's not a great thing. I'm not excited about that. I'm like, I know everything. There's a reason. I know that, things happen, and these are the times that challenge who I am as a person. Are you truly a positive person? Are you truly grateful? Are you humble? Do you seek clarity? Or do you just say that because it sounds good? And it's not true. I do it because I believe in it and because it gives me great days. So I researched to make sure that they weren't just putting some stuff over on me. But upon my research, my detailed research, I found that I had missed some things. And it was an incredible learning opportunity for me. It was an expensive opportunity. But I learned from it. And my youngest daughter was looking at me and she's just kind of like, are you really in a good mood, Dad? I mean, because they just tell you owe them money. I'm like, no, seriously. I'm actually in a good mood because I've learned something. They'll never send me one of those again because I know now what I didn't know 2 years ago. Because you know how they do. They wait a couple of years before they get you because they got to get you on that interest. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. Matter of fact, that's a gripe video. So I'm not going to do that today. What I want to talk to you today about is gratitude. And here's where I believe gratitude really manifests for us. Okay? Now, before I say this, I want to be crystal clear. This is my opinion. My opinion. Now, I'm not a guru or an expert, but it's just my opinion. Now, let me also say I don't believe there's no such thing as gurus and experts. There are people who may be very informed, but an expert? Nah, nobody's an expert. I believe that that's a word that people create to give people a certain type of status, but I don't believe it truly exists. Okay? But this is one humble man's opinion about how I maintain gratitude. But before I explain that, I have to explain why I wasn't grateful. I wasn't grateful in my past because I obsessed over the past and what the past did not do for me. And then I made the future a horrible thing as well, a horrible scenario for me. Okay? So that made me depressed. It made me angry. It made me insecure. It made me a bully. It made me just a toxic person. Now, the reason for that was I took my past that I chose not to learn from. I'm being real with you. And I projected that ridiculous past into my future. Now, what wasn't I paying attention to? In that scenario that I just gave you, what was I ignoring? The right now. I was ignoring right now. What I'm experiencing right now, I never paid attention to. I was living through days, really just racking them up and throwing them away. I was paying no attention to the present, which is a present. It is a gift. Every day that we wake is a gift. We've heard it in churches. We've heard it in seminars. We've heard it on the side of a building. We've heard it at the corner. Everybody don't wake up every day. Everybody doesn't make it through every day. In every year that you live, somebody didn't live that year. Now, I'm not saying that you should be looking at the deaths of other people, but I'm using it as an example. The day, the right now that we live in is an amazing gift. And if you are dealing with the past and damning your future, then you're not paying attention to the present. And the present is absolutely the only place we have. Think of it this way. In a philosophy class some years ago, I was in a philosophy class and the teacher said this: the past and the future do not exist. They are simply mental constructs that we create. There is no past and there is no future. Now I thought about it and I disagreed with him just off top because I'm like, that's a new concept. That's got to be wrong, right? That's how I thought. But in truth, it makes sense. The past is no longer the present, right? It's gone. So you can think about it and talk about it and complain about it, and you can even create scenarios about it, but it doesn't exist anymore. The future never actually quite shows up, does it? We're only ever always in the present. We're always in the now. So if you live in the now, then certain things don't really harm you. Now let's go through the IRS scenario. I want to walk you through a scenario that I went through that wasn't pleasant at the beginning. I was not happy to receive that letter saying that I owe them all this money. Okay? I wasn't happy about that. So when it showed up, I initially was bothered. But immediately I thought, okay. This is not the most positive thing. But right now, what can I do? Right now, what can I do? Right now, I can research. So let me research and see if these numbers that they're quoting me are correct. So I went through and I looked up everything. I went back through my tax forms because I'm very meticulous. I keep everything in order. I can find anything I want literally in a second or two. That's something that I got from my grandfather. He's no longer with us physically, but he's up there. Thank you, Granddad. I appreciate it. I love you for this. So I went back and through my taxes. I went through everything. And I'm like, I didn't file that. Oh, man, I didn't. Turns out they were 100% correct. So once I found that out, I called them and said, okay, this is a lot of money, and I don't have that to give you all at one time. So how are we going to work this out? Well, I was very kind to the IRS young lady, and she was very kind to me, and I can appreciate that. I love to match energies with people. So if you give people good energy, they're going to give it back to you. And if they don't give it back to you, they ain't going to be able to give you that bad energy for long because it's hard to stay negative in the presence of positive people. It's hard. So she said, okay, let's set up a payment plan. Now the payment plan we worked out, easy peasy. I can do that with no problems at all. I'm good. So I said, so we're good? She's like, yeah, just send that form back signed and we'll get it. We'll let you know once we get it. We'll take care of it, whatever the case may be. I was like, you are the real MVP. And we got off the phone and the situation was handled. Now, if I had taken the time to think about how long I'm going to be paying for it or what the process is going to be, or if I'm going to be paying interest and it's just like the last time. You remember 3 years ago when I got such and such, right? If I had done all of that, I'd have worked myself up into an attitude problem. And then I'd have called the IRS with my attitude problem. And then I'd have got attitude in return. You feel me? You see how those dominoes set up for us? That was my life. But because I stayed in the present, no, it wasn't an amazing situation. No, I didn't feel great about it, but I handled it. And once I handled it, I was able to sit back and go, okay, all right, cool. Now let's move forward. Now, I've run way over my 8-minute thing. I think I'm at 10 minutes now. But it's important to me to share this about gratitude. Stay in the present. Now, will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. It's going to take work. It's not easy. It is not easy. I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I went to therapy, I got self-help books, and I worked and worked and worked. So what I have and what you see before you now, that's a process. I had to go through the process. But anything worth having is working hard for. I know you can do it. I want you to have an amazing day. That is an order.